Good afternoon. I'm Liz Reyes. Thanks for joining us. New information about a fatal shooting involving a teenager in Terrytown. Jefferson Parish Sheriff's officials say he was 17 years old. Andres Fuentes has more from neighbors about the early morning violence.
We're still waiting on more information from Jefferson Parish officials, but so far, neighbors tell me that this fatal shooting happened just down the way in the middle of East Monterey Court. Now, the initial information from Jefferson Parish deputies was that they were dispatched just after midnight for a report of someone being shot in the 900 block of East Monterey Court. Once deputies arrived, they found that a juvenile male in the street suffering from at least one gunshot wound. He was later pronounced dead on the scene. Now, we did speak with some of the neighbors in the area who told me they really didn't hear anything or see anything, but they're really shocked that something like this would happen to someone so young.
Some kids, they don't have structure. Me having two kids, my kids have structure. I just wish all parents could give their kids structure. And it's not all parents, it's just the ones that uphold their children in what they do. And it's just sad that a child is just being shot down dead in the streets. It's crazy.
We're waiting to hear from the Jefferson Parish Coroner's Office about the identity of the juvenile male who was shot and killed. Meanwhile, Jefferson Parish officials are still working on a suspect or suspects in this case and a motive. Once we have more information, we'll be sharing that with you both on air and online. But for now, reporting here on the West Bank, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.